What's going on, people? Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a new series which is going to be based around reacting to military videos on YouTube. So for people that don't know who I am, my name is Kyle. I served in the British Armed Forces, was part of the Airborne Forces, and I did around 7 years in the military, and I'm currently doing videos to help you guys identify ways to improve your chances of getting into the British Armed Forces. So hopefully you can go away from these videos with a little bit of support, advice, guidance, whatever you want to call it, so that you can succeed in your aspirations into going in the British Armed Forces. So we're going to start this video series off with a Harrogate video. So Harrogate is the Army Foundation College that you can go to if you are between 16 and 17 and a half, if you're going to the British Army, and it is a good way and a good stepping stone of getting into the British Army if you are quite young. So let's get into it. So guys, I haven't seen this video before, so I'm just going to be doing this sort of on the fly, so I'll add as much as I can.
The reason why I joined personally was for a bit of independence. I kind of wanted to do my own thing and not really live off my parents. I wanted to be my own person.
I saw loads of people making new families and friends, and I just thought that's what I want.
I think an important bit to add there is, at this age, 16 to 17 and a half, it's really, really good for your independence to get into military, whichever one you go into, because it allows you to start making money nice and early, and it gives you that independence, like he said there. So a lot of people that age are going to college, they're still living with their parents and things of that nature, whereas if you're going into the military, you're sort of expected to look after yourself. You're still babysat a little bit, however, you're going to get these core skills that you would probably not get until later on in life if you were going to something like college. So it's really, really good when you join the military at this age.
In life.
I joined under 18 because I just thought, why would you wait when you can set yourself up for your
Cheeky
career?
monster.
The idea of being able to bring my hobbies into my job role was just amazing to me.
The job I'm doing is a driver.
Be an aircraft technician.
Ground crew specialist, cyber engineer,
technical support specialist.
geographic technician.
I'm going to be joining the Corps
job,
of Army
was that?
Music. I'll be playing the flute. Combat medic technician.
Yeah, I want to join the Welsh Guards Infantry.
As an electronics technician.
I chose to join the infantry because it's a different job role. It keeps me on my feet all the time, and I like to
Love it
stay
when I see
physically
females
fit and
going into
active.
infantry.
The most rewarding part of
As you can see there, loads of different people from different backgrounds, all going into different job roles. That's what the best thing about Harrogate is. There's just so much that goes on there, and so many people from different places, all doing different job roles, but all got the same sort of ideas in mind, wanting to go into the military, wanting to succeed, and all of aspirations of going far in life, which is really good. It sets you up for success.
training is seeing myself develop physically and mentally. I've seen myself being pushed mentally more than I ever have before, and physically my training and fitness has gone through the roof.
Safari training.
Them logs that you see in the background there, that little assault course, it's quite difficult to get up. It starts really easy and it gets harder and harder as you go. It's quite difficult.
It's been quite good. Working with a lot of new people, learning the basics of a soldier, learning how to operate as a soldier.
Here at Harrogate, you can obviously do the high ropes behind me. There's also shooting on the ranges and the indoor ranges, the DCCT. There's obviously PT, sports and skills going towards your Duke of Edinburgh award that we also do. There's varieties, there's football, rugby, tennis. I'm on the boxing team personally.
They started it a lot.
Harrogate boxing team and Harrogate boxing competition is one of the biggest in the military. It's massive and it's a great thing to get into. Sport within Harrogate is probably one of the best things about it, really, because Harrogate is just your basic training, but it's spread over the course of either 6 months or a year. There's a lot of spare time, so they fill that up with really good activities like adventure training, sport, things of that nature, and it is a really good thing to get into because it allows you to sort of have a little bit of fun in your training and not just be getting beasted and that all the time. Allows you to make friends, work together as a team, all them sorts of things. Really, really good.
A lot easier than I envisioned it. But
As well as
obviously training progresses, it gets
You can't
harder and
complain.
harder. But they're trying to make you get a new personal best every single time you train.
When I first started, I wasn't the fittest person, and it was a bit of a struggle. It still is a struggle mentally and physically, but you get used to it, and it does get a lot easier.
So I feel like I'm a lot more focused, a lot more disciplined.
At Harrogate, we spend roughly about 25% of our time in education.
I didn't expect to do education as part of my military training.
The class sizes at Harrogate are between
That is something that I'm going to jump on right there. What you will be able to do as part of your training at Harrogate is get your functional skills in, I think it's English, Maths and ICT. which if you're leaving school now and you've failed your GCSEs, you haven't got a grade 4 or above, and this is going to be a great way to sort of open doors either later on in life, or if you fancy changing your job role down your military career, you might be able to, which is good. So if you were going into infantry and then you passed this, then you thought, actually I fancy going into the engineers or something like that, that might be an option for you. So this is another good thing that is going to help you do what you want to do in your military career.
7 and 12 students. This is good because we get more one-on-one time with our teachers if we're struggling.
Whereas when you was at school, you never really got the help that you needed, and I felt like I struggled a lot more, whereas here I get a lot more help.
At Harrogate you can do functional skills, maths, English, ICT and BTEC.
So this is my bed space. I have my bed. It's actually very comfy. And
then
you have a locker, and then there's a
well,
desk over here. And
so for anyone that's doing level 3 uniform services in college or something now, if you went to Harrogate, you would have got it as part of your training anyway. So
loads of photos up, and then nice window.
Beginning, it's kind of like a bit weird. You've got 11 new people you haven't really met before, but then within the first 3 days, it's as if you've known each other for about 4 months, and then as the weeks and days go on, you just get more comfortable with each other, and then by the
that's what it's like in basic training. You like you said there, you rock up on the day and everyone's a little bit nervous because you don't know who you're speaking to and all that sort of stuff. But as the weeks and stuff come on, you become like a family, like it's crazy. And you're with each other every single day. And then when you get into your military sort of regiments and stuff like that, you end up not going home because you end up just liking the people in your camp more than you do your friends at home. Like, so it's a good little it's a good little benefit.
By the time you finish your first 6 weeks, you feel like you've known each other for years.
You always have someone there at the end of the day. Like, the girls become like a second family, and if you're down, they'll cheer you up.
In my free time, we normally just like sit together, like talk about stuff, or we eat snacks or play games like Uno.
My spare time, I get on, make sure my room's clean, make sure everybody else's bed space is clean, make sure my locker's all ready to go for the next day, polish my boots, and then once I've finished that,
So this is something that I've never seen before. When I was going through basic training, we were never allowed Minecraft, bloody bed covers like that. We'd get absolutely fucking beasted. Like, you normally have the blue ones that are issued, but I'm not sure if this is just a Harrogate thing, just to make you feel a little bit more comfortable because you're there a little bit longer. It probably is. These guys are a little bit younger than the people that are going through adult entry, so it might just be giving them sort of creature comforts to allow them to settle in a little bit more.
And then ready for bed, call my parents, whatever.
But don't have a Minecraft
everybody else does in their free time.
I get to speak to my parents every night.
You can bring in laptops, then maybe your Xbox or your PS4, and as a weekend or in the evening you can set that up and then play FIFA with your mates or play something like Call of Duty.
They do have a good selection of food, and
I think this is a part of the thing to jump on. Harrogate's a little bit different to adult entry. Say if you went to Purbright or Winchester, Harrogate, they're there for a longer period of time, so they do allow you to start bringing things like Xboxes and stuff like that in, just to give you more things to do on your downtime. Within adult entry, you don't really get the opportunity to do stuff like that because you're sort of in and out the door. So you won't get Xboxes, things like that, until you get to your sort of phase 2. So if you're going into a trade, that'll be your phase 2 establishment of your trade, or if you're in Catterick and you're going infantry, it'll be the phase 2 part of that. But there you can get Xboxes and stuff like that. When I was in Larkhill, because I was in the artillery, I had my Xbox and stuff down there which I could use on the weekends and stuff like that, like he's saying there.
Breakfasts are quite standard, but everybody likes a fry up.
You get quite a lot of options, and they're tasty. It's nice. It's nice food. I eat a lot.
The biggest challenge has been so far remembering all the information that gets thrown at you and all the abbreviations and different things like that.
I find getting out of bed quite easy now. When we first started in the first 6 weeks, it was hard.
Getting up every morning at like 6 o'clock, it's quite challenging, but we all do it.
Getting out of bed is always the hardest thing for most people, because especially people of this age, 16, 17-year-old, majority of people are used to staying up all night playing bloody Fortnite or whatever it is, and then having to get up at like 12 o'clock midday and stuff like that. But when you get here, especially for the first couple of weeks, you're getting up 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning, pretty much 5 o'clock, half 5, because you've got to be at Scoff for like 6, and they're getting you into them habits. So it can be quite difficult, and people find that quite hard over the first couple of weeks. I've said in previous videos, the first couple of weeks are always the hardest because they're trying to get you out of these bad habits that you've got yourself into at home.
On weekends, we get up at 9 o'clock, we get a nice line. It's beautiful.
The most rewarding part of training for me would be making the bond with all the other junior soldiers.
And I feel like the bonds that you make as well, they're very strong. Like, you're with that person literally 24 hours in a day.
When I came here, I didn't really have many girly friends, considering the fact that there was many girls that wanted to do similar things to me, whereas here, like REME, engineers, there's girls having similar aspirations as me, wanting to do similar things, work alongside the lads. So we were all actually like on the same wavelength.
I think the thing I found most surprising was the actual amount of...
Just to jump on the girl thing there, so the different sexes are obviously split up within the accommodation, no matter what basic training establishment you go to. So as you can see, these girls here, they'll have their own room, and the males will have their sort of own room or own block where they'll stay, and you're separated when you shower and all that sort of stuff, obviously, just to avoid any mistakes happening. But I just want to let people know that, because some people think that they might have to share accommodation and stuff with the males or the females, and that's not the case, and it's not allowed at all. So if you get caught going into either or rooms, so if the males went into the girls, you would be up shit creek.
Resilience that everyone has collectively, like no one wants each other to give up, you just build each other back up.
My military instructors are great. If I ever need someone to talk to or I need help, I turn to them. They don't turn you away, they do listen.
The thing I've most enjoyed about my time here is growing myself and like learning about things that I never thought I could do.
When I got my first paycheck, I was definitely over the moon. It was the best thing ever.
Give it a go. It's been one of the best experiences I've had so far.
If you really want to join...
That first paycheck's good, like, especially if you've never earned any money before, which most people haven't by this age, and you get, what, I don't know, I think it's about 600-700 quid your first one, because they end up taking money off you for bits and bobs. But that first little 700-800 quid, whatever it is, it's lovely. Normally just rinse it down the naffy on chocolate and stuff like that.
The army, then go for it, because if you don't try it, you're going to be really disappointed when you find out how amazing it actually is.
So just to add on to the end of that there, basic training, it isn't the army. This is good for you. Like I said before, it's really good. But a lot of people don't like basic training because you are babysat and you treat like a bit of a child, whilst they mould you into the soldier that they want you to be. But what you got to remember is that is not the army. That is basic training. When you get out and you get into your unit, that's when your sort of military career actually starts to begin, and you do even more exciting stuff than what's been shown in this video here, and you're given a little bit more independence. You're allowed to go and do pretty much whatever you want. You have your own room, which has got like an ensuite shower and all them sorts of things. It's really, really good. But that is going to be the end of this video, guys. Put some comments down below on what video you would like to see next. I've got a good idea. I think I'm going to do a P Company video, so Pegasus Company video, which the Parachute Regiment and the Airborne Forces go through. I think I'm going to talk through that and give my sort of thoughts on it. So if you would like to see any others, then please drop them down below, and I will definitely react to them and give my comments on it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.